This is not the future. This is not the future. And these are not aliens that have come to destroy our planet. No one in this crowd is suffering from the spring flu. This is the new normal.
Considered as the greatest challenge the humankind faced since the Second World War, coronavirus disease 2019 has rapidly spread around the world in a matter of only a few months. As of August 1st, it has affected more than 200 countries throughout the world, infecting 17 million and counting.
Today, we're going to look at a few of the global changes this generation has faced over the last few months.
In the face of mask shortage, the South Korean government implemented the public mask policy to ensure fair distribution and prevent hoarding. However, not every country had taken immediate action and took it under control.
When COVID-19 epidemic was almost at its peak in Asia and only in its early stage in the West, the US President Donald Trump refused to wear a mask and used to mock presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden for wearing one. Robert Kaplan, the president and CEO of Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, said that he's confident that masks work, and if people want to reopen the economy faster, the government will have to get people back on planes and in stores. And the best way to do that? Wearing masks. President Trump now starts calling wearing a mask to be patriotic.
In matters regarding public health, vigilance and thorough preparation seems to be the most important approach for both governments and individuals. In an effort to diminish the immediate impact of school closures, schools are using online platforms like Zoom to reach students at home. However, online classes make way for more severe education inequality. Wealthy families are renting residences for private schools, additionally hiring separate tutors to ensure the best supplementary learning for their children. On the other hand, kids from families with the lowest income struggle to follow through because they lack resources such as digital devices, internet connection, or even a proper location for a sound learning environment. Food insecurity, homelessness, lack of healthcare, and student debts are additional burdens that encumber them.
Education polarization is also intensifying in South Korea. The mock test results of Suneung, or the Korean SAT in June, have seen a drop in the mid-high score range, instead transitioning either to the lower or the highest score range in a matter of only 6 months. The introduction of online classes will further deepen the educational gap. Reopening schools is many governments' priority, so as to minimize these negative impacts. The Ministry of Education of South Korea announced a back-to-school project starting from May 20th. So far, the South Korean education system seems to be under control, with the majority of students happily returning to school, albeit the confusion of different grades and split classes, taking turns coming to school every other day or every other week.
The global community is adapting to this new normal of daily mask wear and online education. In addition to pointing out the visible changes, we should also pay attention to the problems raised by COVID-19 pandemic.
First is on the environment. In China, after the lockdown of factories, carbon emissions decreased by 25%. In order to maintain the cleared environment, the European Union set a €750 billion recovery plan called Next Generation EU to reserve 25% of its budget for climate-friendly businesses.
The second issue is racism. Racial discrimination against Asians were aggravated due to Wuhan, China being the origin of COVID-19. The Inter-American Court of Human Rights insisted that there is also a growing hatred towards African Americans. Police violence records towards African Americans have increased after the outbreak of the virus.
Following is a letter to the world from Muhammad Ali. We hope it reminds everyone of our roles as global citizens in the face of a challenging era. We are sick because our home is sick. We need to look at the rate of deforestation just as urgently as we look at the speed at which toilet rolls are disappearing off of shelves. It is reminding us that we are all equal, regardless of our culture, religion, or how famous we are. This disease treats us all equally. We can choose to cooperate and help each other, or we can choose to be selfish, to look after only ourselves.
This can either be an end or a new beginning. Whereas many see the COVID-19 virus as a great disaster,
it is reminding us that the power of free will is in our hands.